very much in favor of the counting of points.
Does it work for you? No.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Runthrough, your favorite figure skating and music history podcast, where we talk about all the things that make us kiss, make us cry, and make us marry our cousin, which we will learn about today. My name is Adam Rippon. I'm here with Michelle Ellis, not Olympic champion Sarah Hughes. I'm Adam Rippon, and I'm also here with the incredible Ashley Wagner.
Wow.
I'm really excited.
That.
I realize I know nothing, right? I don't know anything about anything. And so
that's what this whole
inbreeding
summer
that
is
you
teaching me.
I know, but the inbreeding that you were like teasing before we even hit record, I was like, what? And then you're saying it again, and I'm still being left confused, thrilled, ready to go.
I love that you like tell the audience that I'm teasing. I say it in quotes, teasing and inbreeding. That left Ashley excited. Teasing and inbreeding. Have you ever listened to a podcast where they do that? I don't think so.
No,
and this is
know,
free.
Maybe like
this
a
free podcast.
Forensic Files.
Yeah.
I haven't ever been part of a podcast that does that either. So
yeah,
this is a first for everyone.
It is a first for everyone. I want everyone to know that my notes are all over the place. I did not organize them. So a lot of what I'm going to be saying is like top of head.
Great.
So I want to bring us to so today.
Can you tell us what our lore
I'm getting there.
Great
I'm getting there. Sorry, I'm just excited from teasing the inbreeding, as I was told. It's like I'm dangling inbred sort of marriage like a carrot in front of us. Well, we're gonna get it because today we are talking about the Firebird Suite by Igor Stravinsky.
I'm really excited for
Let's
this.
go.
Now, I'm gonna teach us a little bit more about the ballet itself and the story because it's a really cool story. And that's my take on it. No, it's a really interesting story, but I think that it's really interesting to see how it's been portrayed by the skaters now knowing the story. So now I'm like, I wonder what they were thinking with that.
Are there actual birds involved or no?
Absolutely. Yes, there is a Firebird.
There is a bird. Okay. But the humans are inbreeding.
Okay. So the Firebird is written by Igor Stravinsky. Okay. He is born in Russia, the motherland. Now, he really likes music. And his parents are like, that's okay, fine. But we don't really care. And he's like, why don't you care? Because I saw this ballet and I really love ballet. And they're like, yeah, that's fine. But your dad does opera. We would prefer if when you go to school, you study law and philosophy. And he's like, all right, fine. So he goes and he studies law and philosophy at St. Petersburg University. He doesn't love it, but all the while, so his father is this like respected opera singer. But like I said, they don't really want him to get into music, but he does study it throughout like the younger part of his life and before he gets into law school at the University of St. Petersburg. While he's at the University of St. Petersburg, he becomes friends with the son of Rimsky-Korsakov. And he becomes very friendly with him to the point where he meets his father, the Rimsky-Korsakov, who then really heavily guides him towards learning how to compose music. And so he becomes the mentor of Stravinsky all the way through to the end of Rimsky-Korsakov's life.
Wow.
Yeah. So so how do we get from like from Russia to the Firebird? So we have the Firebird, right? And actually, before we get there, I want to touch on something else. So we're leaving law school. We're like, fine, whatever. I don't want to do it.
That's how I felt too.
Is it? Well,
Yeah.
you decide to
Right.
then go, well, I'm going to marry my cousin.
No, I didn't go that far.
Okay. Because that is what Igor Stravinsky decides to do. He goes, and so he gives like a reasoning to it. And it only sort of, in my mind, makes it so much worse because his reasoning is like, growing up, I didn't have a lot of interactions with other people. And so the only kind of people that I saw were like my cousin. And I don't know if we were ever like soulmates or like so in love. We probably had a love more like a brother and a sister. And I'm like, that's
So
worse.
it's getting worse. It's getting worse.
That's worse.
It is worse. It's
Worse.
worse to be like, well, I didn't see other people. The only person I fell in love with was my cousin, but it's okay because we're actually close like brother and sister. The podcast goes silent.
I mean, I don't know what to say.
No, there's nothing to say except that he does
Go
have
meet more people.
I mean, he managed to meet the Rimsky-Korsakov heir. You know,
he meets the son of. He becomes like a mentee of Rimsky-Korsakov, and he can't meet anyone outside of his cousin.
Yeah, like, come on.
And I
That
see
sounds
a
like a
picture.
personal problem.
Yeah,
I
it
saw
sounds
a
like a made-up
picture-
story to justify his incest.
His love of cousins.
His love of cousins.
And so I
Fraternal love of cousins.
I see this one picture of
Importantly.
his wife, Ekaterina Stravinsky, who is his cousin, and she looks completely disheveled. So there is sort of no like excuse of like, but she was the most gorgeous cousin. That's just,
Well, maybe
it's
she was
just
the most gorgeous cousin that he had.
in the room. That exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's it's the tale as old as time. You meet your cousin, you fall in love. You have 4 children. So,
How
wait, where is it?
cousiny are they?
I mean, they're first cousins.
Yeah, that's cousiny.
Was her name Stravinsky before she married him?
I don't know if
Dad's
her name is
side?
Oh, God,
Oh,
that
no.
would
It's
be
okay.
worse.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about it. Okay, I lost my place in my notes because
No, she had a different last name when she was born. So that's
Oh.
okay. Nasenko.
No, there's like in this like point in time, I'm really fascinated by the like crossover of like how many composers are around or like how many famous artists of the time are around at this time. So eventually the Ballet Russe. Oh my God, I can't find it. I cannot remember who is the guy. It starts with a D. Michelle, can you help me?
Danielian?
What?
No,
Say
the-
more words that you need.
The
Jinsky?
Ballet Russe, this Russian guy, Sergei Dudada. Sergei
Diaghilev.
Diaghilev. Oh my God. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I have his book on my shelf.
it's
I haven't read
everything
it
is
yet,
coming together.
but I have it. It's hardcover.
Okay, so this is how we get to the Firebird suite, and we get
Uh-huh.
from Russia to the premiere of Firebird in France, Paris, France to be exact. So Diaghilev starts to feel like the arts are dying in Russia, and this is not like the heart of like of the arts anymore. So he wants to go to Paris, and so when he goes to Paris, he creates the Ballet Russe, this independent ballet company. And while he's there, before he sees a young Stravinsky perform like his early works, and he's really impressed by him. And so he wants to commission this ballet, The Firebird, and he wants to find a composer to put it together. And so he approaches 2 other more well-established composers who both completely pass on the project. So then he goes to a pretty much and basically unknown Stravinsky, and he's like, would you like to do this? And he's like, yeah, sure. So that is what brings Stravinsky to Paris, to the Ballet Russe. So let's get a little bit into the story. So Stravinsky's Firebird takes place a long, long time ago in Russia. And now there's this prince.
Just an unspecified long time ago?
Yes. Because this story is based on like Russian folklore and like this, just like a lot of all of these other ballets. It's like a combination of a bunch of different folk stories.
Okay, so a long, long, long time ago.
A time when there was still magic in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Isn't there still magic in meeting your cousin and falling in love?
I just found a quote about that he said about her, if you want me to read it.
I do.
Yep.
From our first hour together, so they met when they were 9, when he was 9. From our first hour together, we both seemed to realize that we would one day marry, or so we told each other later. Perhaps we were always more like brother and sister. I was a deeply lonely child, and I wanted a sister of my own. Katerina, who was my first cousin, came into my life as a kind of long-wanted sister. We were from then until her death extremely close, and closer than lovers sometimes are. For mere lovers may be strangers, though they live and love together all their lives. Katerina was my dearest friend and playmate, and from then until we grew into our marriage.
I think it just gets worse the more he describes it.
It is. It's sort of like maybe just start composing music and stop talking.
Stop talking.
Yeah.
Wow. As another great composer once said, shut up and dance.
Yeah.
That's enough out of you, Igor.
Yeah.
Sarah, you cat got your tongue.
I don't have anything to say.
Just thinking about her cousins. She doesn't want to marry them.
Playmates from the
Well,
start.
you know, it gets even crazier because like I want to focus more on like the ballet because we can go like more into Igor Stravinsky lore, which is actually quite incredible and crazy because he obviously has like multiple affairs. It's his cousin, by the way. So he has multiple affairs.
Other
that
cousins?
like one
With
no
other cousins?
no somebody else who you'll die at. Coco Chanel.
What?
Yeah. He has
You're
an affair
telling
with
me you
Coco
put a
Chanel.
Coco Chanel, who you have no biological relation to.
So we'll get into the ballet, but so basically like Firebird turns Stravinsky into like this overnight complete success, and he writes he's commissioned to write these next 2 pieces for the Ballet Russe. And the third piece is what really solidifies him as like this musical genius, and it's The Rite of Spring. And The Rite of Spring is like it's people had never heard anything like it. Like of the time you're thinking of these like sweeping classical pieces of music, you're thinking of like a Tchaikovsky or something like this. And The Rite of Spring is literally fucking insane if you listen to it. It sounds like somebody having like a mental breakdown. And the idea of it is that like it's this. So with Firebird, they wanted to capture the Russian spirit and like the beauty of like Russian folk. But with The Rite of Spring, Stravinsky wanted to like bring it back to like the beginnings of like Russian culture and like modernism. And so it's really like it's based way further, like it's before magic. Okay. And so basically The Rite of Spring is that there's, as to like bring spring, they have to sacrifice a young girl from the village. And so she basically dances herself to death. And it all starts like which sounds sort of like an Atari training tactic.
Yeah.
Dance yourself to death so that we can have spring.
Yeah.
And so the idea is that it starts really slowly and then it gets so chaotic and there's like a riot in the theater. And Coco Chanel, they're past their like affair at this point. Coco Chanel is in the theater and she's like, I love this riot. This is amazing. Which she becomes a patron of the Ballet Russe, which the like house of Chanel is still a patron of the Ballet Russe, which all started because of Stravinsky because of the riot of the Rite of Spring. The more you know.
I love
Oh,
it.
that's cool.
Okay, so let's get into Firebird, because this will, I think, help paint the picture of like what we're seeing when we watch these programs. So Stravinsky's Firebird takes place in Russia a long time ago. I say Russia, I say a long time ago. There is no time period. There is no space or time, okay? There's a prince whose name is Ivan Denev. I'm kidding. Just Ivan. That was for me. He's handsome, he's beautiful, he's brave. And he's heard these tales of a magical golden apple tree that whenever anybody went to look for it, they never come back. So he thinks to himself, he's like, I think that I can go and find this tree. So he decides that he's going to go into the forest, and he's like, nobody's ever found the tree. They're just stupid. I will find it. So he is in the forest and he sees this golden glowing light, and he thinks to himself, oh my God, I found it. So he approaches the light, and he is certain that this is the golden apple tree. And as he gets closer and closer, suddenly down from the sky, this bird flies in, who's completely made of fire. And she's made of fire. There are feathers, and they're red, they're orange and yellow, and there's even bits of blue in there. And she's gorgeous, stunning, captivating. She's dancing around. She's playing with the golden apples. She's almost like teasing the Prince Ivan. And so he thinks to himself, I need that bird. So he captures the bird. And when he captures the bird struggles and can't break free. And he can see that slowly this like charisma that's oozing out of the bird, and the light of the bird is dimming. So Prince Ivan is not a bad guy. He's like, well, obviously, I feel like maybe I should let her go. And so he decides that he's going to like set free the bird. And when he sets free the bird, she is so thankful and she's so grateful to be released that she goes and she like reaches into her feathers and she pulls out one, and she goes, here. This is one of my magical feathers. If you ever need it, just wave it and I'm going to come. I will help you. Thank you. He says, okay, great. Thanks.
This is
So-
getting like Harry Potter. This feels very
Well, as Michelle mentioned,
fantastical.
magic was still around. We lost the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. It didn't work
Yeah.
out with Coco Chanel. And now she's a patron of the Ballet Russe.
We cut down all the forests.
Greenhouse
Nowhere for the
gases.
Firebirds to nest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the Firebird vows to help Prince Ivan if he ever needs the help again. Wave the feather, I'm gonna be there. Firebird disappears, flies off. And as she flies off, he looks behind, and there's this like there is the golden apple tree, and it's behind this gate. And he realizes that the gate is opened. And so Ivan goes, and he goes closer and closer to the tree. And as he's going closer and closer to this tree, a princess appears out of the gate. And then another princess. And then another one, until 13 different princesses, one more beautiful than the next, come out. And the most beautiful, her name was Ekaterina. And she comes out, Ekaterina Stravinsky.
His cousin.
His cousin.
The most beautiful maiden of all.
Oh my God.
Other
Are you
than
my
Coco
cousin?
Chanel.
No, Coco's one of the other ones. No one is as beautiful as a Katerina, cousin Katerina. So she comes out and she introduces herself. and they're all the princesses are like basically like they're showing the apples and they're like, aren't they gorgeous and whatever. And Katerina comes out and she's like, you've got to get the fuck out of here because the prince, this evil magician, he's going to capture you. And like what happens is that he captures you and you either become a prisoner here or you become a stone and like a stone statue. And so the evil magician Kachi, that's who's gonna like that's who lives here. He's like captured us all. We're all stuck here. We can't go anywhere. We're stuck here. So he's like, you need to leave. And Prince Ivan is like, I actually think that I'm gonna be fine. Like, I don't want to worry. I'm brave. I'm gonna set you free, and I'm gonna get one of these golden apples, and that's gonna be that. So at that moment, obviously, like an idiot, that's what an idiot says. But he has this magic feather that was going to come into place. It's very important. So at that moment, this bell rings out, calling for the princesses to go back to Kachi's castle. And Ivan tries to follow them, but he's stopped by the evil magician Kachi. Okay. At this moment, all the monsters come out and they come into the garden and they start to try to use this magic to pull Ivan towards Kachi. And Kachi is trying to lure him in and it's working. So he gets closer and closer and he's trying to resist the magician, but he can't. And so what he does is he takes one step forward and he remembers that he has the magic feather and he pulls out the magic feather of the Firebird. And as promised, she appears from the sky to save the prince. Now, Kachi knows how powerful the Firebird is and he's furious. He's so angry. And he's so angry because that like the Firebird's going to beat his ass. And he doesn't want that. And he's pissed that this is like happening. So he makes all the monsters dance this fiery dance called the Inferno dance. But the Firebird is so beautiful and so charismatic and so alluring that all the creatures in the garden start to follow her. And they do her exact movements, and they dance in front of them. And so then the music slows down, and at this part it's called like the lullaby. And so it's the lullaby and it's the slow dance, and she puts everyone to sleep, and the only people who are awake in the garden are the Firebird, the evil magician, and Prince Ivan. And so this is like the Firebird. She puts all the princesses to sleep. She puts all the monsters to sleep. And so the Firebird now tells Prince Ivan that Kachi has this very deep, dark secret. And that deep, dark secret is that below the golden apple tree, there's a box. And inside the box, there's a giant egg. And inside the egg is where Kachi's soul is kept. And so...
Horcrux.
I'm
Exactly.
telling you, it's giving Harry Potter. Or
Yes.
Harry Potter is giving Firebird.
Well, just wait
Yeah.
until they go to the train station at 9 3/4. And then he takes the train home at platform 9 3/4. Okay. So Kachi's soul is kept in this box that's under the golden apple tree. And so Prince Ivan finds the box and he takes out a giant egg and he lifts the egg into the air and he smashes it on the ground. And when he smashes it on the ground, Kachi's soul is released and starts wafting into the air. And it's like, and he basically just like dies. But while he dies, all of the spells are broken one after another. And all these princesses, they wake up from their slumber and the stone statues, and they start to turn back into humans after they had all been captured by this evil magician, Kachi. And the beautiful princess, the most beautiful princess, Katerina, and Prince Ivan, they get married and they never see the Firebird ever again. And so, like I mentioned, the Firebirds, it's a mix of like Russian folk tales. And it's about what they wanted was to show the beauty of the Russian soul and the Russian spirit, and that was the whole point of this ballet. And that is the story of
Did he get a golden
Firebird.
apple?
He got the princess. I feel like he
Okay.
kind of forgot about the apple and was just like, I think I'm gonna take the princess instead.
Right. I'll take this hottie instead.
And so, cousin.
My
Hot
cousin.
cousin cat.
My cousin is so hot. So, when this ballet was originally being made, they wanted the Firebird to be played by Anna Pavlova.
Mm.
And Pavlova is famous for the swan. Like, this is can still watch this like piece on YouTube. It's like a very like grainy old footage, but
Yeah.
it's just the way that she portrays the swan by Saint-Saëns is like unbelievable. There's a level of artistry that I don't think that like anyone has ever been able to achieve, because she's a dying swan. She looks like she's dying. It's incredible. It's just so beautiful. She hears the music by Stravinsky and she's like, what is this bullshit? I hate this. I'm not dancing to this. This is horrible. And the reason is that like we hadn't really heard music like this. Again, like you want to think like sweeping, big, beautiful classical music, and we're hearing like these like really sharp like moments and shocking things. Like there's even like I went back to like watch a bunch of videos of it being played, and I'm like, wow, this really is like incredible music. And there was one I found where like, you know, the music is really low and then it goes bum 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 bum. Okay, there's a part, there's like a clip that I saw where like when it goes bump like that, a woman screams. The conductor like holds
And
it
it's
for like
Anna
an extra.
Pavlova.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, do you know Anna Pavlova is like that? It's like, you know, a pavlova, like the cake. It's like named after her.
Yeah.
I learned that from Great British
I did
Baking
not
Show.
know that.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that either. I just didn't know they related. So they so she's like, I'm not doing that. And so she didn't do it. And then there's something else that I thought was really interesting. So when it was redone in 1945, so Stravinsky does like a few adaptations of this where he like adds different parts into it. So like the original one is from 1911. And then there's another revival. There's three of them, and then the third one is in 1945. In 1945, the costumes are done by Marc Chagall, and the whole set is done by Chagall. And I actually forgot.
Why is that name familiar?
He's a famous like painter.
Okay.
And he's done like different. He did this set all for like what would later become the American Ballet Theater, and he's done like murals, and he's like painted the like top of the Opera House. And I've actually seen the Firebird costumes in an exhibit, I think here at LACMA, of the Firebird costumes that Chagall put together. And I have like a Chagall print somewhere in my house. When I say so, I'm pretending like I'm looking for it. It's in my bathroom. It's not around here, but I love it. And I think I got it at the exhibit. But it's beautiful. And it's like very impressionist stuff. Like it's just very interesting. Now, to tie it back to some like different lores, that when Stravinsky was living in Paris, after Firebird premiered, he became really close with Debussy, another composer and artist, and he also becomes very friendly with Maurice Ravel. Bolero.
What a time to be alive.
It is. And then another thing is that like, you know, you have quotes and from like people like Rachmaninoff, who are like, this is incredible, who's like alive at the time. And also Stravinsky is very friendly with Picasso. And so all of these, like, it's just, you wouldn't put them all, they all feel like isolated events, but they all were living around like the same
They
time.
shouldn't be on the same timeline.
No, they shouldn't.
Like, I mean, Rachmaninoff, that to me, like, I know you just said it like it's a fact. My brain won't accept that.
I mean, mine still really won't accept it.
Even Debussy, like, What?
Mm-hmm.
Hanging
know.
out with Ravel?
It's crazy.
Self-proclaimed dandy?
I think a lot of them were dandies.
Yeah.
Quite possible. Well,
Or they were getting dirty and dandy with their cousins. Isn't that that is so crazy?
That's
Like,
just
please don't touch your cousin like that.
Mhm.
seriously, your playmate. Once you label someone as a playmate, they're
Or like,
off
or like
limits
we're
for
just
a
like brother
romantic
and sister.
relationship.
Mhm.
That's not a good justification.
No. Stravinsky is sort of like, he's really part of this like this movement that brings like modern music and jazz to the forefront. Because again, like that's why Pavlova was so turned off by the music. Like we hadn't really heard like rhythms like this and like offbeat and like sharp and like these moody vibes. And so that's basically like what kind of brings us to the Rite of Spring, that brings us into like the jazz movement that like comes forward of like where we start to hear these like beats and rhythms for the very first time. And then something else I thought that was interesting of like, by the time we get to 1945, Stravinsky is so into this like neoclassical style of music is that he reworks the end of the Firebird suite for the 1945 version. And in the version that like from the 1920s, that like the one that we really know today, it's like at the end, it's very like bum, 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 like, and it
Yeah.
feels like nostalgic almost, or it feels just like big and beautiful. But Stravinsky was so into this neoclassical style at the time that in 1945, the version is like very sharp. So it's like bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
And
So it doesn't hang as much.
yes. And so actually people now are like, we don't like that. And so the version that we all know today and that we listen to mostly is the 1926, I think it is, version. And so it's that version that's like big and sweeping and just like overpowering. So it's like he got so into like this like jazzy, like crazy style. And they were like, that's great, but we don't like it. And so that is the story of Firebird, and which made me think that like now learning the story, it's like when I see some skaters skate to it, I'm like, yes, you are portraying the bird and some of you are portraying the egg. And so, Michelle, I again, this is another piece of music that I didn't realize was so young.
Yeah.
I felt like it had to be so much older, but it's even young enough that we can see videos of Stravinsky himself like working with different orchestras on.
No way.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And then also just to like tie it back to like to close it up, Stravinsky, born in Russia, eventually became a French citizen and also became an American citizen. And he did make his way back to Russia. So he didn't go back to Russia for almost 50-ish years because of the Russian Revolution and the World Wars. And so when he did make it back to Russia, he was given like a hero's welcome. Even at one point, he was seen as like a traitor, and his music was banned in Russia. But by the time he comes back, he's like embraced by his homeland, and then returns back to the United States, and he does pass away in New York City, but spent a lot of time in Hollywood. To the point where he was even asked by like Walt Disney if they could use Rite of Spring in the 1940 movie Fantasia.
Which they do, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Yes, and he agrees.
What is the animation for that?
Yes. Isn't that funny? Like another thing, like why is Stravinsky talking to Walt Disney?
That's the one with the dinosaurs.
Oh, yes.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to rewatch it now. Yeah.
I know, now I'm really curious. Adam, that's so interesting. I did not know the story of Firebird at all. Did you?
I was pretty sure there was a bird, but
Right.
that was kind of it. And I feel like for a lot of people when they skate to it, that's all they're pretty sure of as
Yeah.
well. Like they're just
Yeah.
a bird.
There's a bird there. They're not sure what the bird is doing, what the bird cares about.
No.
There's a couple like a pair program and a free dance that I think they were using this story. But the
okay.
singles programs, I don't think they have any idea.
No.
Maybe they do, but
Then one other thing that just
Uh-huh.
because I know it's not about Stravinsky, but this
Mhm.
was I thought was fun, is that so in Stravinsky he basically he has this like and it starts with the Rite of Spring. It starts this
Mhm.
lifelong collaboration with Balanchine, and this is
Mm.
just like where the flexed feet and just this is where they kind of reinvent like what dance could be. But with Balanchine, for Barnum and Bailey Circus, they're commissioned and they write the circus polka in 1942.
Wow. It's interesting that people of this era probably looked on the youth like us with such disgust that we feel so detached from this era and so surprised by so many things about it. And it's like I feel that now. Like, I mean, Sarah was telling me she has a young coworker who didn't know who Lauren Conrad is.
Don't
And
bring
we were
this
both
up
like,
again.
"Ah!"
It's so upsetting to me.
Lauren Conrad, one of the famous composers of,
Right.
of our time.
But it's crazy,
She
like
and
the passage of
Stravinsky.
time. Yeah, and it's like
Same cultural
they
Cultural
importance.
impact.
people this generation probably knew all this stuff, and they knew these people were friends, and they knew about them writing at the same time and their collaborations and stuff. And we're just like acting like, oh my god, they knew each other. Like they would be
Exactly,
disgusted by
yes.
us. We've lost it all, and
We've
everything that we care
yeah.
about will be lost to future
Well,
generations.
we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back as best
Yeah.
we can.
Yeah.
One
speaking
lore at
of
a time.
someone yesterday 2 days ago at my office I said something about Spencer Pratt running for mayor, and he was like, who's Spencer Pratt?
No.
That's even like affecting you today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Like that's
affecting you
relevant.
today.
That's relevant.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's
And
like if you don't know
concerning.
Spencer Pratt lost his mind and then went on to sell crystals for 10 years, like that's really interesting to me.
He
That's
lost
who's
his
asking
reality
for your
TV
vote.
fortune on crystals.
Yeah.
And then
On crystals meth.
no, like actual crystals. Like did he spend
Like
like
rocks.
$3 million on crystals?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You guys want to talk about skating?
I
Yes.
do.
Always.
Okay. So there were some very early Firebird programs in the 80s that I think are like skating purists would say these are the definitive Firebird performances. But this music was really, really popular in that era, and it's continued to pop up, throughout skating. But like in the 80s, Firebird was like it, and not just Firebird, disco Firebird.
Excuse me?
But
Say
we will
that
get to
again.
that. We will get to that shortly.
Mhm.
So I want to start with probably the best known amateur performance to this music, and it is Linda Fradiani in her short program at the 1980 Olympics. Linda Fradiani was an extraordinary women's single skater from California. She was coached by a coach you may have heard of, Frank Carroll. And she was like his star student. She was really, really special. She was the 1977 and 1979 world champion. She was from Northridge, California. She was the first woman to land 2 different triple jumps in a program. She did triple toe and triple sow. And she was known for cementing the importance of triple jumps in women's skating.
Mhm.
And 2 world titles sounds like great, but in fact, she was really there were a lot of titles that people thought she should have won that she didn't win because she wasn't as strong in compulsory figures.
Okay.
And it said that she was rarely able to win major titles. I mean, she won 2 world titles, but like this is someone who should have been indomitable, unbeatable, but she was behind on the figures. So always playing catch up because compulsory figures were the first part of the competition. So her 2 main competitors in the 1980 Olympic cycle were German. One was East German, Annette Putsch, and one was West German, Dagmar Lurs. And neither of them beat her in a short program or a free skate from 1977 through 1980. Never beat her in short program or
Whoa.
free skate, but frequently beat her overall because of the figures.
Oh,
So
screw figures.
And
yeah,
it was like a collective score. So it was like they would add
Yes.
up your ordinals, correct? So it was
Yeah.
like, doesn't matter if she was like third, first.
Mhm.
It mattered that she was getting 4.5 in the compulsory figures.
Yeah. So at the 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid, New York, Linda Fradiani was third in the compulsory figures. She was trailing Annette Putsch, who won the segment, and then Dagmar Lurs was in second. So the compulsory figures were worth more than the short program, and about like a bit less than half of the free skate. But like Adam said, they used the raw scores and they added them together. So in the compulsories, Putsch scored 46.04. Lurs scored 44 and Fradiani scored 42.76. So she's like a little over 3 points behind going into the next two segments. And Fradiani then won the short program, skating to Firebird. And this is her signature program. So I just want to tell you about this program. She was in a red dress that had like a deep V in the front and the back. It was very simple dress, had like ruffles in the sleeves, and then it had these big red chunky diamonds or like jewels all around the neck and like in around the V. And this is another thing that Linda Fradiani became known for, was popularizing like simple but elegant, simple and like elaborate ornamentation on costumes and the sequins, like the sequin patterns. Like the sequins can be elegant and like blended in, but also, you know, have this detail. So this was like red sequins on a red dress. It was cool. It was very fashion.
This dress is gorgeous.
Yeah.
If someone were to come out in a dress like this today, we'd be like, they're eating. Like, it's so simple and it's so beautiful.
Yeah. Red on red. I know I should have worn a red shirt today. I don't really have any because I don't tend to wear color, but Linda Fradiani did beautifully. So this program is so interesting. It starts with these very slow opening movements, arm movements, and they're very regal. She just sort of does these slow movements as the music is starting, and it just like pulls you in. It's just so interesting. And then the beat changes, and then she like jumps out to be the Firebird. And she skated this program with this just lightness and spiritedness, and just there was just like a quickness to her movements that was really engaging, with this interesting, complicated Firebird music. She did triple sow, double loop, this really high double axel, great straight line step sequence, and a double flip. And Dick Button said, "What a relief that is. She knew that she could not afford a mistake, and she did not have one." It was a gorgeous skate. And this was like probably the most popular performance, I would say, of those Olympics. It was really, especially in the US, it was really like, this is our girl. This was the MacArthur Park of the Lake Placid Olympics. It was like everybody was watching this and talking about it. It was really special. So she won that segment. She won the short program. In second in the short program was a skater named Denise Bielmann from Switzerland. So then in the free skate, Linda Fradiani skated to Carmen. She skated really well. She was second in the segment behind Denise Bielmann. So Bielmann was second in the short, first in the free skate. Fradiani was first in the short, second in the free skate. But at the end of the event, Annette Putsch was the Olympic champion. Linda Fradiani was second, and Dagmar Lurs was third. And Denise Bielmann was fourth off the podium. And this was really controversial, especially the Fradiani silver medal was really controversial. People were really upset, and they were calling out block judging. They're like, they did this with block judging. But there were only, it was thought at the time it was like the Eastern Europeans that were like participating in this. There were only two of them on the panel, and it came down to the points. Like when you add the scores together, Putsch, her total was 189 points, and Fradiani's was 188.3 points. So she lost it by 0.7.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Doesn't even
Fra-
Frank Carroll think that it's like a huge conspiracy?
Yes. So Fradiani said, after she skated, she said, after I skated, the audience jumped on their feet, standing ovation, very excited. I had skated the best I had ever skated in all 3 events. I thought I'd won, and everyone else in the audience thought I had won. But in my heart, I thought that I had the gold medal. We went to the kiss and cry area, and the marks came up, and I looked at Frank, and he looked at me, and we both knew. We both knew that those marks were not good enough for a gold. We knew that there were politics involved, even way back in 1980. And I'm sure before 1980, all along in this sport. It was never talked about between Frank and I, but we both knew that it did exist. And the skaters all knew it. I did the best that I knew how, the best that I was capable of doing. And it was kind of out of my hands. Fradiani was devastated by this. Devastated. She thought she skated so well. She did everything she could. And she had this like distant look in her eyes on the podium. And she said, I was really trying hard to fight back the tears. When I found out that I had won the silver, I was devastated. I was crying. It took a lot for me to get myself together. So Fradiani retired at the end of the season. And it took her 19 years to ever look at her silver medal again. Like after that ceremony, she closed the box, she put it away. She had it under a bed in her house, and she didn't look at it until her daughter asked to see it, and she like fished it out to show it to her. She said, I felt like I had let my family down, who had sacrificed so much for me, and I felt like I had let my country down, especially being in Lake Placid, my own backyard. I was devastated, and I felt, not good enough. I think Linda Fradiani was an extraordinary skater and performed really well. It's just in the system that was in place at the time, it's like, I feel like with figures, it was really hard to close that gap. And I mean,
Yes.
She was close. She was third. I mean, it's not like she was in 7th. Denise Bielman was 7th in, I think 7th. No, 12th. Denise Bielman was 12th in the compulsory figures. So it's like she was never able to close the gap, but it's like, Linda was up there. It's just, It just wasn't quite there. And the way it was set up, there wasn't anything she could do. And she really vocally pointed to this block judging as the result of like that led to this result. But I think also the way that the points are set up, and she wasn't trailing by that much. I also watched Annette Putsch skate in both programs, and I was expecting this to be like horrifically bad based on the way everyone talks about her. Yeah. And she was good.
She was good.
She didn't have that like a little bit of like finesse and kind of sparkle that Linda Fradiani had, but she was a really strong skater. So
I know they make it seem like it was like she went out there and she was 500 pounds, a disgrace to women across the world,
like Hatchet Face from Crybaby. Like,
they make it sound like she's Stravinsky's cousin.
Well, what do you mean? Because Stravinsky's
cousin
was
marry.
hot.
Yeah. Well, she's also
what I heard.
dead before we get to 1940.
So in 1981, they changed the way that these numbers were calculated, and they stopped adding them together. They started kind of going by placement ordinals, which we're more familiar with. That was what was in place until the scoring system changed in 2005. So, they didn't combine them. So, if she had done another cycle, she might have had a different result, but she didn't. This basically changed it. It took away the ability for skaters to build up this big lead in the compulsory figures. But Denise Bielman competed another season, and she did quite well. She won both European and Worlds titles in 1981. Okay, that takes me to the greatest all-time figure skating purists. This is the Firebird. This is the one, if you've been around for decades watching skating and you're all about it and you live for it, if you ask some coaches that are around, what's the greatest Firebird ever? They're going to say this one. 1983, Taller Cranston, professional skating.
I've never seen it. I can't believe this.
Say it with me. Disco.
What?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. This is considered like a magnum opus in professional skating. And it was disco. So Tyler Cranston was a Canadian skater. He won the 1976 Olympic bronze medal, and he had a really, really successful and influential professional career in the 80s. And he was known for just boundary pushing artistry, fearlessness, trying anything on the ice. He was also a very, very creative artist off the ice, and he was into painting and all different types of art forms. And he was just a creative in the sport, and very influential. So he combined the classical version, Stravinsky version of Firebird, with this piece called Magic Bird of Fire by the Sal Soul Orchestra, which is a instrumental disco version of Firebird. And I can't even tell you how well it works. Like, go listen to this music right now. I found the piece on YouTube. I listened to the whole thing. It's great. It's great. It really builds on like these disco beats with the powerful, like impactful part of the music. The way the music sort of has these like kind of striking pieces. It's just like, it's great. And I have to take a pause for a second and let my contract run. I will be right back.
Wow. I can't believe I haven't seen a performance that Michelle is saying is one of the most iconic of all time.
Yeah, I feel disappointed in myself now. I'm more disappointed in you, Adam, but
Yeah, I feel like
a
that's
little
fair.
in me.
I feel way less disappointed in you, way more in myself.
He was also, I believe, like a genuine artist.
No, he
Have
was.
you seen his art?
Yes, it's beautiful. I've seen some of
Like-
it like in person too. I think Brian Orser might have some of it. Yes, it's
It's so
beautiful. It looks like Russian
beautiful.
folk art.
Yes.
We're talking about Tyler
Hey.
Cranston's
Yeah.
beautiful art.
He had a painting that was for sale on the concourse at the well, he's obviously not alive anymore, but one of his paintings was for sale on the concourse at Montreal Worlds, and I really thought about buying it, and I
I
kind of
remember
should.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You really
Cool.
Yeah. I should have bought it.
agonized over whether you should buy that.
Yeah. Okay.
This is like, and you know what prepped you for that was like when
Uh.
I told you that like I was thinking about like entering a bidding war for a Sonia Henny cigarette ad. And when I told you about that, you held my hand and said, "You have to get it."
Yeah.
And I outbid everyone and I got it. And I think it was like what led me to that moment was you not buying the Tyler
Mhm.
Cranston
Your regret.
painting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. And also
What-
your enthusiasm for smokers' rights.
Oh my God. And Chesterfield cigarettes.
Yeah. Okay. So Tyler, for this performance, he was in a unitard with like red pants, and then he had flames on his chest and his arms. And the thing that's so groundbreaking about this piece is his repetition of movement. He performs this almost like a ballet where he's doing just these repeated movements. Like he does like 4 like high leg kicks in a row. He does a series of Russian splits in a circle. He does 4 of them. He does multiple stag jumps, and he kind of does this stag jump where he sort of jumps to the side rather than like straight forward. It's cool. And that shape, like he repeats it throughout the program. And at the time, seeing things done in choreography 3 or 4 times over and over just for dramatic effect wasn't something we saw very often. But Torval and Dean started doing it too. And then the Duchesnay started doing it. And it kind of became this trend of like really performing to the music and like repeating things because it was effective, which was more similar to like what you would see in ballet and not so much in skating where you kind of did things once.
I feel like that's kind of died out. I don't feel
Yeah.
like we see that much anymore.
Well, it's
But
killed
it's
by code of
cool when it
points.
does happen.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I think in pro skating, you started seeing more of
Code of
this.
points has killed everything.
It has like it's
Yeah.
poisoned us too, where we just like
Yeah.
think like shit is good.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. And yeah, so it was very unique of this is that he's showing his technical ability to do technical elements to the music like a dancer, and it's like shows his sense of timing, his confidence. It's just all about the performance, and it just becomes about the performance and not so much waiting for elements. The elements are just sort of an accessory to the performance. Yeah. And it's cool because he starts with the disco and then he goes into some more of the classical stuff and has a big disco finish. It's so good. It's so good. It's so fun to watch and unexpected and just really kind of challenges you when you're watching it because you don't, it's like you don't know what he's going to do. I feel like I've watched so much skating. I feel like I know where the program's going somewhat. And this was like, doesn't fit the mold. So the next year in the 1983-84 Olympic season, a Canadian skater named Brian Orser had an Olympic. He was the world bronze medalist from the year before. He had a free skate that was inspired by this Taller Cranston performance, and it was choreographed by Ushi Kessler, and it was called King of Kings. And so Brian's free skate started with this piece called King of Kings, and then it went into a Spanish guitar piece, and then the disco. It turned disco. So
What
went
a
into this
wild
piece.
time to be alive.
Oh
my God. The 80s was like plagued with
They said
synthesizers.
Whatever
incredible.
you want, like a little bit of this, a lot of
Yeah.
it of that.
Incredible.
So it went into this piece called Pulsar, which is like this beat, like picked up. And then Firebird, classical Firebird, like the second half of the program. And then disco Firebird.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen this program. It's been years. I was so taken with this. I watched it 6 times this weekend. I couldn't get enough. I sent it to
This is
everybody.
the one you watched 6 times?
Yes. Okay. Brian Orser is head to toe in a purple spandex onesie. It has these big chunky gold pieces all around the neck, and then it has bell bottoms with a gold inlay.
Of course.
Oh my God, could he skate? He won the short program and the free skate at the 1984 Olympics and the silver medal. And I've never questioned Scott Hamilton. I've just grew up as he's the 84 Olympic champion. He won because of compulsory figures.
Yes.
And when you watch Brian skate this free skate, it's like unbelievable to think that he didn't win. And I'm watching this and I'm like, am I Canadian? I'm just so, oh my God. Okay.
Well, then we go to the 2018 Olympic Games and you were
And I realize
definitely
I'm
not
Canadian.
Canadian.
I'm French Canadian.
You're, you're a traitor.
Yeah, I am actually genetically French Canadian. I've got a
True.
little bit in there. I'm working on my
Really?
citizen. Yeah, both of my grandparents were born, my mom's side were born in Quebec, and my grandfather is Kanawake Iroquois. And I'm reading this book by Annie Proulx right now called Barkskins, and they keep talking about the Iroquois. It's about like development in the New World, and they keep talking about the Iroquois as like they're fucking crazy, they're sick. Stay away from them. They'll torture you to death just for fun. And I'm just like, yeah.
I mean,
let's
look at
go.
us here. This is happening.
Well, Michelle, this makes so much
Complete
sense.
sense. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. Okay. So Brian, I'll just tell you like the elements. This is just like this program. I could tell you this off the top of my head now. I watched it so many times. He opens with his gorgeous triple Lutz, and then he hits these positions. There's like an angularity, but then also a musicality to it. Huge triple axel, first ever landed in Olympic competition. Gorgeous.
Wait, the first one ever was at the Olympics?
First
No, the
Olympic.
This
Triple
was the
axel.
first
Okay.
Olympic one.
Whew.
Yeah.
I was like, Brian.
Yeah.
Well, he probably was like, I have no chance of winning anyway. Okay. Go on.
Yeah. I saw an interview with him and he was just like, I really hope I can get a medal. I think I have a good chance because I medaled at Worlds. I'm like, almost a point of being like, you were fucking robbed by compulsory figures. Brian was 7th in the compulsory figures. He was not in
Damn.
the top 3 like Linda. So yeah. He does a beautiful triple flip. And then like as the like disco beat comes in, he does this big Russian split on it. Right into the Firebird. Double axel. Dick Button is just gushing over his jump quality. Triple toe, double toe, and then the disco comes in. His only mistake was a double sow. He popped his sow, and then he did this like whole long series of running turns at the end. So good. Big open single axle, just just to watch, just to do it.
Why the fuck not? We're
yeah.
already in the disco.
Yeah, another huge double axel, and then he had saved a triple toe for the end. Dick Button said the choreography is a little frenetic, but it's interesting movement and wonderful jumping quality. I just love this so much. I love the arm movements, the pacing, the positions, his musical timing. I also love the way that he uses his free leg to create images. Like his legs are so long, and he just always had his free leg extended in a really interesting way. The multi-dimensional movement with the angularity of his movements, it was just effortless and seamless. So many changes of direction, and like the elements are just woven into it. And his speed never flagged. I mean, he was like so fast in and out of the elements through this whole program. I think today's skaters should watch this. This is just sensational skating. His spins were great. Yeah, he just like the run of the blade throughout the program. I can't say enough about it. I'm like a Brian Orser super fan after this. I could not get enough. I loved it. So for technical, he got all 5 9s except a 5.8 from the East German judge, and his choreography marks were a little bit lower. But I noticed that for an artistic impression, both the Soviet and the Yugoslavian judges gave him 5.9s. And I was like, they got it. They saw it. They knew what it was. They appreciated it.
Undeniable.
Yeah. And then
they also have French Canadian roots.
Yeah. He's in the kiss and cry getting his scores. And this is just the thing they did, because I watched a couple of the other men. A guy in a tuxedo comes with a tray with a drink on it, and an open drink. It looks like a screwdriver. Puts the tray down between Brian and his coach, and Brian takes the drink and starts drinking it.
I'm going to go to the ISU and
demand they bring that back.
That I serve athletes when I interview them.
I mean, open containers, like no one would drink this now because you could be doped. I mean, like you're not gonna.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that. Here I am.
I imagine they probably have a whole setup of the drinks there ready to go for him to grab, and someone could go over there and just.
No, it's crazy. I mean, like,
wait,
I feel
this was
like
at the Olympics.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in Sarajevo.
I love
Butler
this.
in a tuxedo. Yeah. Yeah.
I need a drink after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. I know. And when Brian started sipping it, because he took it, and I'm like, oh, he's being polite, and he starts drinking it.
That's crazy. I got in trouble for saying that I wanted a Xanax and a drink after I skated in Korea, and they were actually giving that to people in Sarajevo.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You got in trouble?
Well, people were like, don't do drugs. And I was like,
People
I'm
weren't
not.
happy
I'm saying
about
I
Xanax
want
is a
them.
prescription drug.
Exactly. It's
You
regulated.
had a prescription.
What prescriptions do you think they were doing in Sarajevo?
Cocaine.
Ketamine.
Yeah. Yeah. So like I said, Brian won the short program and the free skate, but because he was 7th in the figures, he was only 2nd overall. And Scott Hamilton won the compulsory figure round. He was 2nd in both the short and the free skate, and he won the gold medal.
Doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Fuck figures. I'm so.
But you know,
glad
it
that they're
probably
gone.
all. I mean, nobody ever talks about. Not even Brian Orser talks about that medal as like, God, I was so close.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a question. It's just that's like you're just. It's like Munchausen by proxy.
Yeah.
You're just like it's
doing
banged
the best
into your
you
head.
can.
This is the way that it works. It's just the way that it works.
I want to know though, like the public's understanding, because like obviously compulsories are first, and then so you're watching someone like as a Canadian, you've just watched this guy back to back get 2nd place. You're Canadian, won both things, and then he doesn't win overall. I mean, like that has to be so confusing. I'm sitting here being confused. All of a sudden, I'm like, give this man his medal.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's showing up that like he's going into 2nd place. Like they're showing the overall score as it's happening. Do you know what I mean? And then I think like you look back and you're like, wait, he won both of those things, but he wasn't able to like catch up.
That would be so frustrating.
Yeah. The commentators also really framed it as he has no chance, because they were like, when I found the Canadian version of the call of this free skate, and they were like, he even beat Scotty Hamilton in the short program. That's hard to beat Scotty Hamilton. And they were just like, he skated the best he could do. He's definitely going to get a medal. There was
Yeah.
no defensiveness
He
of like,
won both of those segments. That's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Okay. So 1987, we had a Firebird program from a pair team, and their names were Jill Watson and Peter Opegard. And they're an American team.
Mhm.
And they
Was
won
Peter
their-
the egg?
No, he was the prince trying to catch the Firebird.
That's the problem.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was the egg.
No, this is so this team, this is they were, I've never watched them before, and I think it's because they didn't do any pro skating. Jill Watson should be on our list, top 3 of absolutely insane pair girls. The
I believe it.
Daredevil, the
I believe
Daredevil
that.
stuff. Oh my God. Like, I couldn't believe that I didn't know her. I feel like she should have been on Stars on Ice, like thrilling us. I don't know what I think she stopped skating after 1989 because Peter Opegard had a different partner for pro skating that I found in 1990. But
Also,
oh, yes. Yes.
Oh,
Wait, amazing.
costumes.
Incredible
It
disco.
looks like AI.
Yeah.
it's for sale on eBay, UK.
I think Adam needs that for his other bathroom.
I need a Chagall and an Obergard.
Yeah. So, okay. This team had you can't really see it in that photo, but they had a pretty severe height difference. Jill Watson was so tiny, and Peter Opegard was quite tall. That
He
shows
looks like
it.
a small child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
were
looks like a
also-
code Adam.
They were also a mirror pair. So they had difficulty making things look right on the ice. Like, I love mirror pairs, but it's like the size difference plus mirror pairs. It was strange. And
he was the lefty.
she was, I think. Sorry, I can't remember. But they would do spins in the same direction, which I thought was also interesting.
Whoa,
That is so
that's
crazy.
hard.
Yeah, because Yamaguchi Galindo did opposite directions, but they spun in the same direction. Okay, so they came up with this Firebird program, and this, like, it made all their skating make sense, and it made sense in a way that was thrilling. He is this, like, handsome prince trying to catch the feisty little Firebird, and he's like chasing her around the ice. Okay. And it just worked for them. Their pair elements were effortless. Their lifts were insane. And this team was really known for their ingenuity and like creativity. And their throws were huge too. Like they did this throw double axel. I mean, she could have like tapped the roof. In it. And I also love they do those interwoven patterns for their mirrored pair jumps. Great. But I want to tell you about some of their original elements that were like blew me away on this extremely grainy feed I found from 1987 Worlds. So they do this star lift, like hand to hip, not star, or star position, but group 3. So she's on her side, he's holding her on her hip, and she just taps her legs together. She like brings her back leg up and taps the top leg. And I'm like, wow, that's cool. Then they do a group 2 lift where she is parallel to the ice. He's holding her by her hip. So she's like in a platter. And then he just goes like this. And she flips over to her back. His arms are extended. Boop, boop. Arms are extended. She flips to her
Wow.
back and hits another position.
That's crazy.
Incredibly acrobatic. Then they do a press lift, and this is called their headstand lift. So when you do like a press and you go up, and the woman is kind of like in a starfish position. She's got her 2 hands down, her legs spread. Jill goes the other way. She puts her legs up in the air, crossed, and her head down forward. So his arms are up, and she's like in a handstand. I mean, she's not perfectly straight, but she's like in a like curved body position with her legs like almost straight up to the ceiling. This is like acrobatic stuff.
Wait, that's crazy.
That's scary.
Yeah. And then they had 2 really innovative death spirals. They started doing a drag death spiral where he would come out of the squat in a death spiral and start skating forward with her still in the death spiral position. And this was really effective. The crowds
around.
yeah. The crowds were like, whoa. Yeah. And then they did a forward
That's when he's
death spiral.
captured the Firebird.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. There you go. And then they did a forward death spiral. So she's going on a back left back inside edge, and she goes in forward, so face down to the ice. She's on that edge, and her right leg and her left arm are up, but she's forward down in this death spiral. It was so cool. It's so cool. And then their final like platter lift, he picks her up from behind. She has her arms behind her back. He picks her up from behind, takes her straight over his head, and then like holds her upside down so her head is behind his back in the lift. And then they exited. This was their trademark exit. It was called the swoop. I think we would probably call it like a headbanger exit today. Swings her around, swings her head down by the ice and out.
Wow.
This sounds exhausting. Like I'm thinking
Yeah.
this is a program. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
As a
And
fan.
the crowd, and the program was pretty long. It was like 4.5 minutes. The crowd was eating it up. And yeah, they won the world bronze medal here. And that was their first and only world medal. And then they went on to win the bronze medal at the 1988 Olympics in Calgary. And again, watching this, I'm like, how did they not have a huge show career? I mean, this was thrilling. But anyway, Jill Watson, wherever you are, you're crazy. I love you. I was very entertained by this unbelievable pair's work. Yeah. But yeah, that was Watson and Opegard, and they are the last U.S. team to win an individual Olympic medal in pairs.
Wow.
Wow.
1988. Mm-hmm.
That's a piece
Another
of information.
moment of silence.
Mm-hmm.
So far, the things that have silenced us are a cousin marrying a cousin, and that Peter
US
Overgaard
pairs.
and Jill
Of
in
American
U.S.
pairs.
pairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing that can silence us is incest in pairs.
Yeah. So another pair team, another mirror pair team I love, Christy Yamaguchi and Rudy Galindo. They had a Firebird program in their last season together. And they used some of the like Magic Bird of Fire piece, the disco in it. And they finished 5th at Worlds with that program. Okay. Let's go to the 1992 Olympics. Kurt Browning.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah. So Kurt Browning was a 3-time world champion. He won every world title in this Olympic cycle coming into the Olympics. But he had a pretty severe back injury. He had like a bulging disc in his lower back. And in this Olympic season, it flared up around like the Grand Prix. He was at Trophy Lalique and he was in a lot of pain. And he had to miss 6 weeks of training time before the Olympics just to rest his back. They were like, you need to not do anything. So he just like laid on the couch, didn't answer the phone, just rested. Him going to Trophy Lalique and having issues, and it made his back injury like known, like in skating, because he always felt like he was this unbeatable, like even Victor Petrenko couldn't beat him, skater. And it sort of was like blood in the water. Like the competition was like, Kurt's injured, something could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So coming into the Olympics, we think he can win. He should be able to win. But he goes out to skate his short program and he falls on his opening triple axel. And he is 4th in that segment. So then he goes out to skate his Firebird free skate. And this program was choreographed by Brian Power and Renata Uranek. Now, Renata was his coach, Michael Uranek's wife. And he was wearing this light blue billowy shirt with like red slashes in it and like blue pants. So it was interesting. This is one of the first Firebirds where someone is not in red head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
And this program was a big departure in style for him. He wanted to try something new and felt like something like super classical was a big change in a way to show that he was growing up. And there's a documentary on his process in this season. And one of his coaches tells him it could bomb. An entire Stravinsky thing could not work. And there were like a lot of edits to the music during the choreographic process, and then a lot of changes to the program between Lalique and Albertville. So this was a quote that his choreographer Renata gave about her vision for the program. She said, "At the beginning, it's so mystical, and even Kurt can get that look into his eye. I would like to see the audience get quiet and start from that deep feeling of greatness, that something great is going to happen." So it's sort of leaning into like the mysticism of the story and like magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the program was different for him and it was really difficult. And as it came together, his team really started to embrace it and thought it worked well for him. So as he takes the ice for the free skate in Albertville, the Canadian commentator said, "Let's see if he can emerge from the ashes of Thursday's original program."
Oh boy.
Yeah. And the first like 2 minutes of
Too
the
easy.
yeah,
It is too easy.
He set him
Yeah.
up for that one.
Yeah.
yeah. The first 2 minutes of the music are frantic. It's very like anxiety inducing. He had 8 planned triples, including 2 triple combinations. He started with a nice triple Lutz, which was like a jump he didn't like very much. Then he put his hand down on a triple axel that I didn't think he needed to put his hand down on.
Mhm.
Double toe, triple Lutz, double toe. Then he had it was supposed to be, I think, triple Lutz, triple toe. He had a double toe in steps. That was just choreography. Then he did a triple flip, turn out, double toe. Singled his next planned triple axel. And then doubled both of the jumps in his next combination. Double sow, double loop, supposed to be triples. Triple toe, and then steps into double sow cow. So this was just the
A
wind out of it.
nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. All the technical difficulty that he was really known for, it seeped away as he was skating this. And the Canadian commentator that was calling this, blamed the size of the rink for his mistakes because the rink was bigger than he was used to. Said he couldn't judge it accurately based on where the boards were. I don't know how
bigger is
I think
not as
Yeah.
good of an argument as
Yeah.
smaller.
Yeah, I feel like it was like a sympathetic
Yeah, well,
approach.
I
No,
understand.
if it's bigger, it's like then you just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. This
Bigger
program
is
was cool
better.
though. I thought it worked well on Kurt. Had these big striking arm movements. He had a lot of like gestures upwards with both of his arms. I think like the greatness, like he was just kind of
Hmm.
welcoming it.
It's great.
His scores were not great, and they're middling. And after he skated, he went behind Christopher Bowman, so he knew like he was not getting a medal.
A medal. Yeah.
Yeah, and this was shocking. This is a 3-time defending world champion, and there was a feature that CBS did at these Olympics about Kurt's fame in Canada and how, unlike many other skaters, he had really marketed himself and done all this
Mhm.
media, and he had made over $1 million in endorsements, which was like unheard of for a figure skater. It kind of reminded me of Ilya this past year, doing so much media and just being everywhere, and then kind of not executing when it came down to it. Although he did fine in the team event before anyone comes for me. But yeah,
Pitchforks down. Just
Yeah.
know, Michelle, it's in
Yeah,
her
yeah.
blood to make
Yeah.
you crazy.
yeah. Kurt did go to Worlds after this in Oakland, and he skated better there. He didn't win though. He lost to Victor Petrenko, and he finished second. Yeah. So that
But
Firebird
then he
was
wins his 4th world title the next year, right?
yeah, and then he doesn't medal at his
yeah.
3rd Olympics after that. Yeah.
Damn.
I know. It's crazy. Like he was so good, and that's just that Olympic pressure is weird for some people. He was
And
so
the
injured
Canadian
too.
men's curse is also
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Well, he
Yeah.
was like creating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
start of it all.
He was doing the magic. He broke the egg.
Yeah.
And the soul of Canadian men's skating
Yep.
wafted up.
Wafted into
All
the
the princesses
breeze.
were released.
Yeah, all
They lost
13
it
of
all.
them. Ekaterina Gordeva comes out. Different princess, Ekaterina.
All they had left were 2 golden apples, Tessa and Scott, on the tree. Okay. So fast forward to 2000. One of our favorite Chinese pair teams, Shuai Shen and Hongbo Zhao, had a Firebird short program choreographed by Sandra Bezic. And I've talked about it a couple times in this series, but this team was always on a journey to improve their artistry, and this was kind of the beginning of the journey. And this was a great transitional vehicle for them. You could really see them coming into their artistry. Sandra gave them these positions to hold that were just very like evocative of the music, parallel, and they were starting to like do it really effectively. I thought even like the entrance to their solo spins that they held for a long time just was nice. I loved the skate. I thought they were great. Dick Button commented the preciseness of these positions. Okay, 2005. I want to talk about the free skate that could have won the Olympics. but it happened at Canadian Nationals, and it was by Joanie Rochette.
That's right.
So
This
Joanie
is
Rochette.
Michelle. I'm
Yeah.
turning my mic off because I'm going to be huffing and puffing during this.
This is like one of the best women's free skate I think I've ever seen. I mean,
yes, mic back on. Yes, it's
Like-
one of the best.
and there's
it's one
not
of
even-
David Wilson's best programs he's ever choreographed.
Yeah. And it happened to Canadians. So Joanie was a 19-year-old skater in 2005. She had been second at the past 2 Canadians. And she was like, I need to win. I want to win. And so coming into Canadians, people expected this big showdown between her and Cynthia Phaneuf, who was the defending champion. The showdown did not happen because Joanie shut the door, locked it.
She brought a loaded gun.
She brought
to
a loaded
knife fight.
gun. She brought like a cannon.
Yeah, she brought a medieval cannon to a fist fight.
No, the
against Cynthia
Halifax
Phaneuf.
cannons.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
brought the Halifax cannon
Yeah.
to a knife fight.
No, it was like if Cynthia Phaneuf said, "Hey, put him up," and Cynthia Phaneuf came in with a tank, or Joanie
those-
Rochette came in with a tank.
One of those rocket launchers you balance on your shoulder.
Yeah, it was like
A bazooka.
not
A
chance.
bazooka.
Yeah,
Yeah. So Joanie Rochette won all phases of this competition. She won by over 40 points ahead of
I mean,
Cynthia. in
God
second
bless
place.
Cynthia Phaneuf because there was like it's going to be a showdown, and Cynthia's like, I've somehow lost all my triples, and it's like,
Right.
you
Sacre bleu.
they're always lost, Cynthia. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. So Joanie did a great short program, flawless, won the segment, but her Firebird free skate out of this world. She landed 7 triples. It was so stirring. The audience was on their feet before she was even close to the end. She said, really felt that the crowd was supporting me and that this was an awesome feeling. I will never forget how I felt. She calls this one of the best moments in her life, not just her skating life, but her life. So this was a David Wilson program. It was very balletic, like influenced by the ballet. So like she was doing a lot of the choreography. I haven't seen the Firebird, but I feel like this is like influenced by choreography the Firebird, the ballerina would have done in this program, in this ballet. The certainty she has as she's going through this program is incredible. Like, you know, she's not going to miss. She's like so alive and focused and present. And it's like Joanie had issues with inconsistency all throughout her career, but sometimes she could turn it on in a way that was just like, she's not going to miss. It's just so like pure and magnetic. And like, I'm going through this program like a bird. I'm just flying through it. I'm not going to have a foot wrong. It was perfect. And the program, like the choreography that she had was just incredible as the music changes. It was brilliant. Her poise in this program is spellbinding. And she skated because they did a draw for skate order for the last group. And she skated first in the last group. And you know how like nice Canadian commentators are and how supportive they are of their skaters and how positive they are. She skates, the male commentator on this broadcast, I don't know who he is, but he said, it's over. You hate to say it for the first skater in the last group, but it's over. She's the champion.
I mean,
Wow, that's really
'cause-
saying something too.
Yeah. And
she
Tracy
could
Wilson
be
yeah,
world
but-
champion with this. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Tracy
It's
Wilson
like,
said she is skating with the confidence of a world champion. This free skate, if she had done this in Torino, she would have won the Olympics
easily.
blow the roof off the building. And it's crazy that she didn't always pull this out, but this Canadians, it was like, holy shit. It was like a narrative changing Firebird. And it's kind of interesting because someone else we're going to talk about in a few minutes did the same thing at their national championships. But unlike Joanie, never landed on an Olympic podium or a world podium in later years. But anyway, okay, moving on to 2010, I want to do a quick mention of Yukari Nakano, who is a beautiful, beautiful Japanese single skater.
I loved this program.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about it.
She had a Firebird choreographed by Marina Zueva, and she had this like black bodysuit that was all flames on the top.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
She
really
loved a bodysuit. They were
Yeah.
like, suit that girl up.
Yeah. It was just really like dynamic, spicy choreography. It was great. And Yukari, I think she had a really severe rap on most of her jumps. And I feel like a lot of people were so focused on that, it kept them from appreciating the full package of her skating.
Yes.
I mean,
Which
she
I
would
say,
do like figure 4 stretch midair. That's
but
Yeah.
only on like flip, lutz, and loop.
yeah,
On toe, sow, and axle, she did not have a wrap. Which
maybe
was
she should have
so
done pairs.
frustrating.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm a complete hypocrite for being so incensed about people holding the rap against Yukari because I'm a big critic of Isabel Levito's jump technique, and I know that I should just accept it and accept the whole
You just
package.
gotta like let go and let God. That's what I do with some
Yeah.
of my girls with crazy
Yeah.
technique. I'm like, it is what it is. This is how my daughters want to do it. It's
Yeah.
how they'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's how it's done.
Or not done.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
shut up and let them
Yeah.
speak. Allow
know.
them to talk.
Yeah. So Yukari skated this program. I pulled it from 2010 Japan Nationals, which was her final competitive performance. And she finished third at this nationals behind Mao Asada and Akiko Suzuki. And Akiko Suzuki is a skater who sort of had like a big breakout in this like couple like cycle these seasons, and she had missed a ton of skating because she was struggling with an eating disorder. So she was out of skating for a while, came back, and she just rose to the top so quickly, and it felt like kind of bumped Yukari off the Olympic team because Yukari was always like the number 3 woman in this quad. And Miki Ando was 4th at this nationals, but she was 2nd at the Grand Prix final a few weeks before, so she was on the team. And Yukari was the one that didn't make the 2010 Olympic team.
That's so interesting because I feel like
Yeah.
Team Japan really does use like the national championships as like, this is what it is. Take
Not
it or
if-
leave it.
Not if you have like Grand Prix final medal, I think. They really look at the Grand Prix stuff. And
International success is something that's very important to their
Yeah.
criteria.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Miki was a world champion and
It
Yeah.
makes sense.
mhm.
Within that quad too.
Yeah.
Like she was
Tw-
the
yeah,
2007
2007.
world champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miki would also go on to have a Firebird program. It was in her final competitive season, the Sochi quad. She skated to Firebird. She did not make it to the Olympics though in 2014.
But didn't she also she also skated to Firebird in one of her first senior seasons too?
I don't know. Maybe she did.
I remember because it was like at like a some cheesy event where it was like the Carrie Lotion Classic, and at like the very end she like falls so hard on a double axel, and Dick
Yeah.
Button is like, "Oh, that's uncalled for."
Oh yeah, 0405 was
There we go.
her free skate. Yeah, she had
Yeah.
2 different free skates that season. And she had it the season before, 0304. Yeah, maybe I should have done a little more research on Miki. She's a
No,
Firebird girly.
She loved her Firebird.
Yeah.
And I loved her for it.
Okay. So all of these Firebirds that I've mentioned, none of them have won a major international title. They've got medals, but no winner. 2010, we have a winner, an Olympic winner, and it is Evan Lysacek. Firebird short program.
I
chor-
forgot that he
yes.
skated.
choreographed by Lori Nickel. And he kind of did a hybrid of, so I was wondering if in the ballet, what was the wizard's name?
Kachi.
Kachi. If Kachi is also kind of bird-like, because another program there was another Firebird in this Olympic quad. This Olympic season was Yana Khokhlova and Sergei Nowitzki. They had
right.
a really porny Firebird free
Mhm.
dance. They changed programs mid-season. I mean, that is an accurate description.
No, it's
Yana was
perfect.
dressed like a dancer on the Las Vegas Strip.
She
I
was
mean-
dressed like Stravinsky's cousin.
Yeah, well,
Stop teasing me. You're my cousin.
it was illusion fabric with a little bit of fire and then a long tail hanging out of
Yeah.
her butt.
No, it was
A fire.
very like
Yeah.
sexy Pokemon.
Yeah. Yes. Perfect description.
Yeah.
But Sergei Nowitzki was basically dressed like a raven. Like he had this like bird-like thing on his head and like he had black feathers. They get so into the bird choreography in this free dance. It's like stunning and bizarre all around. I loved it. It was very much like kind of a sequel to A Night on Bald Mountain It's
Mhm.
fabulous. And the second half of their free dance turns into like a rock version of Firebird with this like spooky choral singing and like heavy rock beats. I highly recommend watching this. It's a ride. It's a wild ride.
These
But anyway.
outfits are insane,
Yeah. Oh,
but also
yeah.
kind of gorgeous.
So
I
the
adore them.
the costume for the evil magician, like Chagall's costume, is
Yeah.
just very like, it looks like the Babadook. So it's kind of
Okay.
a little bit of anything, like horns, feathers, like that's
Okay.
like what that evil
Okay.
magician looks like.
So I feel like that's what Evan was going for because
I
he was
agree.
in black, head to toe. I mean, as usual, but like black. He had these big ridges on his shoulders, and then he had puffs of black feathers on his wrists. And
I
just, like,
loved it. I
yeah.
loved Evan's styling in this
Yeah.
season. I
Yeah.
loved it.
With
It
the
was so
snakes.
chic.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the Babadook.
I just sent Michelle and everyone a
Yeah.
picture of the Chagall
Yeah.
evil magician costume.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, he
You're
did
welcome.
like bird arms, but in an ominous, like slow motion kind of way. It was spooky. And Circle Steps, his arms were a little bit more flaily, but the Australian commentator I found, she said, birds do flap their wings to justify the flailiness of his arms.
They do.
Yeah. And he had straight line steps on the end to this like big crest of music. And he did some really deep plies in this program, which Lori Nickel would bring back a couple years later for a
She loves a
great
squat.
old vehicle. Yeah. Evan had such unbelievable. He skated clean. He did all of his elements clean as the axle could be. He did it. He just was unbelievable relief when he finished. I mean, he celebrated the short like he had done his Olympic free skate. He was so relieved. And he started crying in the kiss and cry when his score came up. And he was second in the segment behind Evgeny Plashenko, who did a quad, but only by 0.55 points behind him. He was
I
right there.
think that this was just like he broke the egg of
Yeah.
Torino. That short program is the reason he wasn't on the podium. I don't think he was even thinking that he was there to win.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to, but I don't think that was.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next quad. Tatsuki Machida. Japanese
this
skater.
was a great one.
Yes. So Tatsuki Machida used this Firebird free skate for 2 seasons, and he got choreography from Stéphane Lambiel, and he was one of the first skaters to go to Lambiel for choreography. So he started with Lambiel in the 2011-2012 season, and then he had Firebird. First, he got I forget which program he had from Lambiel for that season, and then 2012-13 and 2013-14 he had Firebird from Lambiel. He was also working with Philip Mills on his short, and I feel like Philip probably helped with this program as well. Ballet. We get the ballet. So the Japanese men's field in this cycle was just absolutely stacked. You had Yuzuru Hanyu, Daisuke Takahashi, Takahiko Kozuka, Takahito Mura, Nobunari Oda coming back. And then you had this, really adorable junior skater coming up who was so talented named Shoma Uno. So it was Shoma wasn't senior yet, but it was really hard to get assignments in this cycle, especially like to championship events. So Tatsuki Machida had never been to Worlds before 2014. He had this huge breakthrough this season. So he was known as this like very stoic, serious skater. He was always doing ballet on the concourse at competitions. He had like this kind of wiry build, and his artistry like had a stiffness and an angularity to it. But this really worked for Firebird. He was very inconsistent on quad jumps until this Olympic season. So before the 2013-14 Olympic season, he landed 2 quads in competition. In the 2013-14 season, he had landed his quad toe in competition clean 15 times by the time he got to Sochi. Yeah.
Wow.
He put 1 in his short, 2 in his free. Yeah. So he made silly mistakes in Sochi in both programs, like pretty much every other guy in that event. He finished 5th overall. But then he showed up to Worlds in Saitama, locked in like a machine. He won the short program over Yuzuru Hanyu and Javier Fernandez. Yuzu made mistakes, but still, he beat him.
Wow.
So then he comes out to do his Firebird. And he had like a unitard on with black pants, but he had like this shirt that looked like armor, like red feathers armor. And then it had like a layer of orange underneath. It was cool. And went all like over the back and the tops of his arms. So he had this like underneath section where you could see where the feathers ended. And he skated an almost perfect free skate. His only mistake was a turn out of a triple loop. 2 clean quad toes to open. Out of this world. This program was so good. And this straight line step sequence, I can see Lambiel doing this step sequence. Like it's so Lambiel. Machida was second in the free skate behind Yuzuru Hanyu, the recently crowned Olympic champion. And he lost this world title by 0.24 points. He finished second.
Oh, no.
Mhm.
No.
Mhm. Yeah. Yuzuru Hanyu in the free skate landed his quad sow and delivered a really strong performance. So Tatsuki Machida's score at this Worlds would have won gold in Sochi. He was like 2 points higher than Yuzu's total.
Wow.
Yeah. Machida was like, he turned it on and he figured out how to do it, and he was just electric. It was so good. Machida was kind of an interesting guy. So he started skating the next season. Like he won Skate America. He made it to the Grand Prix final. He finished 4th at Nationals and was named to the world team. But at Nationals, they were doing this like naming ceremony to like say who was on the team and everything. And he takes the microphone and tells the audience that he is retiring from skating to enroll in a graduate program for sports science at Waseda University and moving on to the next path in his life. And everyone is like, what?
Jarring.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I remember because
Yeah.
he was training in Lake Arrowhead.
Yeah.
When I first moved there.
Yeah.
And
With
so
Anthony Liu.
Yes, and so then all of a sudden it was like he was like retired, and I was like, is he coming back? And he didn't come back.
He
No.
wasn't.
And
No,
one
he really goes to
journalist,
school.
one journalist was really upset about this, and he called it grandstanding. And he said that his decision was selfish and untimely. You know, to not even tell the federation, to just go out and announce it to the audience. But I don't know. He wanted his moment, so he got it. Okay. Next couple years, we got a couple Firebirds from women. So 2015, one of our favorite skaters, Anna Pogarelaya,
Yes.
had a Firebird free skate.
And she was portraying actually some of those statues in Kachi's.
This was a good program, and I really liked this. It had this like fieriness to it, and she had that kind of personality, like she was a goddess. Like she was condescending.
She was
to
incredible.
skate for you,
like
a magical creature.
Yeah.
Condescending to skate for you is so the energy that she
Yes.
had.
And
That's
like
a
she's
good way to
annoyed
describe
people
it.
showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, ugh. Yeah.
Fuck, leave. This is for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Fucker.
So she skated this program pretty well at Europeans, and she she did a good competition. She was 3rd in both segments. She won the bronze medal, and so at that Europeans, Lisa Tuktamasheva won, and Lena Radionova, Sarah's daughter, was 2nd. And so it really looked like we could have a Russian sweep at Worlds. We could do it. It could happen. I say as a Russian citizen.
As a French Canadian Russian blooded woman.
Yeah. Мы будем выиграть. Все.
Exactly.
Okay. So this is Anna Pogarelaya's 2nd appearance at Worlds. I pulled her 2015 Worlds free skate. She was 4th the year before. Okay. Russia's coming for the sweep. But Anna Pogarelaya had a pretty bad ankle injury after Europeans. She sprained her ankle and partially tore a ligament on it in practice, in her right ankle, her landing ankle. And she spent a month off the ice before Worlds resting this. And she was not fully recovered, but she decided she was going to Worlds. She wanted to fight. And her coach, Anna Sareva, said, Ani's desire to perform was much more than the pain of injury, so she will continue to prepare for the World Championships. Let's hope for the best, that nothing will happen badly during the competition, and then we'll go home and start the treatment.
Okay.
Well, let's just say hope dies last. Anna Pogarelaya had one of the most horrifying falls in the short program, where she fell really hard on triple loop and hit her face.
Yes, we went
was
over
n-
this in the women's lore.
Which
Yeah.
when
It
you're
was
like,
so
how is that
crazy.
possible? It's
Yeah.
not. But for her,
It's
Yeah.
impossible.
it's
Like, that's what
found
your
a
arms
way.
are for. Okay, so she was 9th in that segment. She comes out for her free skate. She opens with a single Lutz, and as you know from Pogarelaya, opening with a mistake on her first jump, it's over.
It's
It's
done.
over.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
kind of
That's not a
stopped and
good
walked
sign.
around
It's
after
like-
that single Lutz, like,
Call it.
fuck. Her next few jumps were tentative. And then she took this wild, sprawling fall in her second triple Lutz attempt, flat out on the ice. And then double axel triple toe. The triple toe is like downgraded, under rotated, and she falls horizontally like a tree, just like right over. Like her blades get stuck on the ice and just down. And I thought she almost smacked her head again, but I don't think she did. Finishes the program,
The
holds
fact that
her
there's a
hand.
question sort of tells you everything you need to know
It's
about
like
the fall.
it's like she skipped the day of learn to skate where they're like,
Yeah.
this is how you
That's what Johnny used to
fall.
say when he was calling. He's like, the first thing you learn is how to fall.
Yes, Johnny used to say it on the air. He'd be like,
Yeah.
"It doesn't make sense. These
No,
falls."
Yeah.
No.
but the thing that was most incredible about her was it was an active choice. And
Yeah.
she
Yes.
chose.
Yeah.
She was choosing.
Well, I'll even say there were some times where like
A
Yuzu
woman's
would
right
fall.
to choose.
It is a woman's right to choose. Sometimes you'd see Yuzu fall and you'd be like, you chose to be that dramatic in that moment.
You're doing that.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you did that. Like
Yeah.
you put your
He'd
head
look at
on the
the
ice.
ice.
Like not centrifugal force, not
Yeah.
the G forces. You.
Yeah.
And she took it a step further and she said, I'm gonna choose to actively injure myself.
Yeah. I'm
That
pulling in and I'm
is
not pulling out.
blatant feminism.
Yeah.
really.
It is
Yeah.
a woman's right to choose.
She was portraying the Firebird when it was captured.
no, with that lost its fire. She never lost her fire.
She was
That's
portraying
she was a
egg
woman
getting
on
cracked
fire.
open.
Stop, drop, roll.
And she did many times. There was a Grand Prix. I
I
want to say,
saw
was it
this
Cup of China where she fell and she rolled?
Yeah, she
was
rolled.
gonna step out. She was gonna step out
Yeah.
and she landed on her knee and then rolled over onto her back. She
Well, that's a better landing place than your knee. Your back.
she went, whoa, and then,
Yeah.
like tuck and roll.
Yeah.
Like Jack and Jill went down a hill. Like it was, oh my God. Whew. I'm so sorry.
So Pogo finishes with her hands and her face in her hands. This is one of the all-time Pogarelaya meltdowns.
It is.
Her European score would have put her on the podium ahead of Radionova here, but alas.
And yet.
Okay, the next year, another high-profile women's single skater skated to Firebird, and her name is Gracie Gold.
Wait,
And I-
Michelle,
Yeah.
before we get to Gracie, can I give a Firebird shout out to Taylor Firth from the movie Ice Princess? Because this Firebird
Ice
was
Castles?
also Ice Castles, excuse me.
Yeah.
Because this program was done by Sandra Bezic and
Yeah.
David Wilson. And this program, I'm watching it, and Taylor just did such an amazing job with the choreography that like I'm watching it and there's a part of me that was like, Taylor Firth is gonna win the Olympics.
I mean,
The
that's what happens when
choreography,
Sandra Bezic
If
is at work.
only.
Oh my God. It is such a good Firebird. And it's obviously like it's made for camera and everything, which just makes it even better. But there's like a moment I still think about where it's like the music goes completely silent and she starts doing all these like little bird moves and then
Yeah.
picks it up. It's amazing.
Taylor
Okay.
Firth was a
Taylor
really good
Firth?
skater.
She went on to portray Marita, I think on Disney on Ice, which
Good
makes
for
a
her.
lot of sense.
Probably with her natural hair.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah. I remember
Mhm.
interviewing her before 2007 Nationals. And her family was like commuting in the snow in Buffalo to get her to practice. Like,
Yeah.
they were living it. Yeah. We showed a picture of her and all of her like siblings. She has like 4 sisters, I think. We showed a picture of them on our broadcast. Okay. Gracie Gold.
Yeah.
And I didn't mention this with Evan, but I feel like it's special when a Frank Carroll student skates to Firebird because that's like Linda's signature program. So
I
Evan
never
skating
thought
to
of
it,
that. I never thought of that. But
like
yeah.
like it was like Evan was so happy when he won the Olympics to win for Frank, like that Frank finally has an Olympic title. And it's
Yeah.
like he won with a Firebird, at least one of his programs was a Firebird program. It's like getting Linda the medal she deserved. So Gracie skating to Firebird. This is another Lori Nickel program I thought was, special. And Gracie had, Gracie's career was very up and down. Lots of ups, lots of downs. This nationals, she came in saying she was more prepared than she'd ever been, that she had done everything she possibly could to prepare. And in her short program, she opened with a single Lutz and then had to do triple flip, double toe. So she was in second going into the free skate behind Paulina Edmonds, almost 8 points behind. And I think this was the press conference where Gracie said like 6 times that she was flummoxed. I'm flummoxed.
Yeah, it is. She said flummoxed at I don't know if she said to the presser or the mix zone, but yeah, she was using the word. It was like me saying propensity on one of our recent episodes where it was like word of the day. It was like stuck in her head. It came in her email that morning and she just said it a bunch of times and we were like, what is going on?
Yeah. Gracie was so frustrated because she was so ready. Like she felt like she had really done everything she possibly could. And then to go out and make a mistake like that, it was like, why? So she drew to skate last and Ashley had skated really well. Paulina had skated conservatively, but clean. And Paulina was in first. Ashley was in second. Gracie goes out 8 points back. And I remember thinking, because I was working this event, I was like, she's going to lose to Paulina. Like, I don't know what she can do here. This is crazy that she put herself in this hole.
I remember that. I was like, she might. I was new. And I was like, she Michelle. I'm always like the optimist and Michelle is always the pessimist.
Yeah.
And we'll
it's
be
over.
Like talking back and forth on the shows. And she'll be
Yeah.
like, no, it's not happening. And I'll be like, you never know. Cause I'm just like kind of always hoping for like whatever, like the big moment.
Yeah. 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 Sarah's purer of heart than I am. Sarah didn't
I'm not
live
French
through
Canadian.
Sasha Cohen. So Sarah isn't damaged. Okay. So Gracie is in a red dress for this strapless, and it has this like feathers at the top and this cool spine thing down the back that reminded me of Sergei Nowitzki's like exposed skeleton in their Night on Bald Mountain program. But anyway, it's cool. Cool dress. So Gracie comes out, and who knows what she's going to do? You never know.
Yeah.
She goes out and lays down a completely clean 7 triple program. She just hits everything. Triple Lutz, triple toe, double axel, triple toe, clean sow cow, everything. Clean. And you can tell she's really feeling this choreography. And it's this very distinctive Lori Nickel program with these like energized poses that she would hit. Like she had this memorable like deep plie on a musical accent. And she had all these little hand, like Firebird hands. Even on her bows, she was like fluttering her hands. It was crazy. And it was like, oh my God. And she needed to beat her best ever score at nationals to win by 5 points. And she did easily. She beat it by like 7 points. And it was all GOE on those jumps. And it was like, everyone was like, finally, this is what we've been dreaming of from Gracie. Like all the potential that she had, all those effortless, beautiful, clean, clinically clean jumps in practice. Finally, she puts it all together. She does it. And she gets a 147.96 and goes into the lead and wins her second U.S. title. And we kept on the NBC show, kept showing poor Paulina backstage sitting with Rudy Galindo, who was her choreographer, watching the scores come in with her braces, trying to smile. And Paulina was so upset by this. I felt bad for her. It's hard to win the short program by 8 points and then do a good free skate.
Yeah, then
lose.
skate clean and then lose.
Yeah. Brutal.
Like losing because of the compulsories when you outskated someone in the short and the free skate.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like the mistakes she made were so major.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like to just totally not do a Lutz and to then not even have a triple
and
toe.
then do a triple double.
Yeah. Yeah. And this program changed the whole narrative for Gracie. Once she did this, everyone was like, she can win worlds. She's got it. She's broken through. Well, that was not quite the case. She went to 4 continents after this and finished 5th. She went to Worlds at home in the US. It was in Boston, and she won the short program. And then when she came out to skate her Firebird in the free skate, it did not go to plan, and she fell on her opening combination. And the rest is history, unfortunately. Unlike Joanie Rochette, she did not continue through another Olympic cycle. I think that if she had, in another universe, maybe kept pushing, but yeah. But that Firebird at Nationals was probably the best moment of Gracie Gold's career. I mean, the best performance we ever saw from her.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's the ultimate Gracie skate.
Yeah. Okay. Last one I want to talk about is Anna Sherbakova at 2019 Skate America. And I haven't pulled too many Grand Prix performances so far, but I feel like this Grand Prix performance was really important because
yes,
we had been watching this trio of girls, junior girls, with Eteri Tuperidze in junior coming up. Anna Sherbakova, Alexandra Trusova, Aliona Kosternaya.
Angel.
Our angel. And this was the first time we saw one of them at a major senior international event. Skate America was the first Grand Prix. Anna Sherbakova was assigned it. We were all in Las Vegas. Lady Gaga was staying in our hotel.
Was she?
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
She was performing in that casino that we were staying in.
Yeah.
And that was the
BMGM.
one. Do you remember when the guy picked her up? She jumped up on this guy that came on stage and he fell off the stage on top of her. That happened
during Skate America.
Yeah. And I remember asking Johnny, I was like, Johnny, could you have dropped her? He was like, no. Like he was just so offended that someone could have done that to her. But anyway, it wasn't the guy's fault. He was just out of shape. Anyway, but she was in our hotel and she posted like an Instagram video of her running around the casino a few days after we had left. And I sent it to Sarah and she's like, is that our casino? We did not see Gaga when we were there.
So
Tickets were $1,000 each.
Devastating.
Yeah. Okay. So Anna Sherbakova is 15 years old. She is incredibly tiny. And she is the first one we're seeing in person, the first one at a big senior event. She and the other two, they're called the 3As. They would go on to win every Grand Prix event, every medal in the Grand Prix final, every medal at Europeans, and then Worlds would be canceled. This was a big season. Okay. This was a trauma. So Anna was fourth going into the free skate. She skated a really tight short program. Her loop was under rotated in her combo. She had a random fall on a back crossover in her step sequence. Like she was a little tight. And we're all thinking like, what's going to happen? So she has this Firebird free skate. The first minute of the program is a piece by Eric Satie called Nosnians Number 1. It's this kind of like, dun, 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 dun. It's like this weird little offbeat piece.
Piano something or whatever.
Yeah. And then it goes into Firebird. And Anna starts the program in a royal blue like tunic dress, like comes up around her neck, has gold accents on it. She comes out, quad lutz triple toe, solo quad lutz. Tara and Johnny are like, oh, she's doing this stuff right in front of them. I mean, a quad lutz, it's like, it's not real.
Crazy.
I mean, that's like out of this world. We saw Adam do them in practices at nationals. And I don't know if we ever were at an event where we saw Yuzu trying them in front of us, but like, this is not human.
I mean, we saw Nathan doing them. Yeah,
Nathan and Brandon Morose would try it, but it's like, this girl isn't Nathan. This girl isn't
correct. Yeah.
An adult man trained by Roth. Like this is a child out of this world. Okay. It's a child.
I mean, and in person you can appreciate too how like tiny she is.
Yeah. She told me that she had to practice in this dress because it was heavy and it changed the way the jumps felt. And I was thinking, because you have literally no weight on your body. Okay. She does 2 double axels, flying camel on the music change, and then steps out of her spin and does this other like little upright spin, not a real spin, and unhooks the back of her dress, and it comes forward and reveals a Firebird costume.
The only
red.
person to actually
loved it.
gag the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Every
know.
every other costume reveal you've ever seen, you're like, oh, let me guess that there's a costume up in that paper fucking bag that you're dragging, that you're like
No.
hoisting up with your breasts.
Do you remember?
I mean,
Guess that your
Kurkova.
pear-shaped
Kurkova.
body
Yeah.
isn't actually a pear, and it's just a bunch of fucking chiffon shoved into your stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, what a shock!
This was done well. It was
It was-
beautifully done. I have a little video. I'll send it to you for the Instagram. Like I filmed it on my phone right in front of me when she did it. It was so cool, and the whole crowd was like, "Oh!" like tittering. It was great. And then she reviews this dress with like red beaded feathers underneath, and okay, then she does triple Lutz, triple loop, and Tara's like, "This is truly incredible." Triple flip, half loop, triple sow, triple Lutz. Those are her 3 final jumping passes. Like, no one can do this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
I felt like Anna's is just she's got this little spirit about her. I feel like she grew her like acting abilities over time, but like this little like spiciness and fieriness in her personality. I feel like the Firebird music really tapped into it. You could tell she enjoyed skating to this. She did this really nice like circular step sequence as the music was building. And I want to say to Danielle Gleichen Gals, who I've criticized a lot on this podcast, I thought that this was a nice program for her. It worked really well.
Mhm.
It was good. I don't know if we needed the first part that wasn't Firebird, but you know,
Well,
We
and I
didn't.
feel like it's sort of I mean, the costume too, but like this whole. I'm glad you chose Skate America for this because I
Yeah.
feel like it sort of announced her because
yeah.
even though the 3 of them were a trio in juniors,
Mhm.
I feel like she would get lost in the
Yeah.
like Aliona Kosternaya is like the next Kwan. She's like
Yeah.
the greatest artist who like look at her. And then Trusova was the, the Russian rocket, like
Yeah.
doing all the quad jumps
daredevil.
first.
Mhm.
And so Anna she would get lost in that shuffle sometimes in the
Mhm.
discussion. And I feel like this kind of announced her presence
Yeah.
in a different way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she was the first in this program. She was the first woman to land quad Lutz triple toe, the first one to land 2 quad Lutzes in one program. I don't know if it was in this performance. I'm just saying Anna in general. And Terry Gannon mentioned on the broadcast that I found how much Anna was struggling in practice at Skate America. He said falling over and over again. We were right here watching her fall, and do it again. And then when the lights go on, she skates like that.
That's a theme for her
And
career.
yeah, it was prescient
True.
because that's what would happen in Beijing. So
Yes,
Mhm.
it is.
yes, it is.
Like we'd be at practices and she wouldn't land a thing.
Yeah,
Fallen like 30 attempts.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Johnny went to Russia to do features on the 3 Dupradze girls before, well, not Aliona, Camila, before Beijing. And he sent us a little report of how everyone was looking. And he said Anna wasn't doing anything. She was just like not landing anything. But it means nothing because she'll go to a competition and go clean.
Mhm.
She's such
Amazing.
a clutch pressure skater.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
She
was.
Nobody better in a pressure moment. I mean,
No.
you remember when they were like, she's dying, and they're
the
like, "Yeah,
smelling
smelling
salts?
salt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just going to say that. Yes.
Yeah.
Insane.
She's like the toughest, like nails, like just toughest
Yeah.
freaking nails, girl.
She's got like iron inside of her.
And you're right, like her performance is like there's something so like she always would
Mhm.
perform. That being said,
Yeah.
it did also look like she was like the only senior level skater to have double bladed skates.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
aside from
spirit.
that, her
There's, like,
spirit,
spirit,
there
yeah.
was just something you could be like, I like this girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So Anna then, of course, as we know, went on to win the Olympics in Beijing in a similar fashion. A couple other Firebirds I want to mention. Rachel Flatt had a Firebird program for 2 seasons in the Sochi quad. 2 years ago, Sarah Everhart had a Shaylin Bourne Firebird that we know and love, and she brought it back for 2026 Worlds. And Shun Sato for the Olympic season had a Guillaume Cizeron choreographed Firebird free skate. So those are probably the ones people that are newer skating fans are more familiar with, but I encourage them to go back and watch the old ones. especially Brian Orser.
Well, I'm about to watch the Tyler Cranston disco first
Let's
and then Brian
go.
Orser.
Let's go.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you
I'm
both.
invigorated.
I'm
It's been an honor.
invigorated. I feel like this is maybe the one so far where I have like we had maybe the most times of like, oh, that program was so good and that program was so good. Like Firebird has there's so many good ones.
Yeah, there are. It's great music.
Yeah.
It is.
All inspired by
someone's cousin.
Marrying your cousin.
Yeah.
Only one Firebird program that I could find that actually like it wasn't the free skate, but like someone won an Olympic gold medal that had a Firebird program that season. I feel like it's a little bit of a silver spoon.
It's interesting.
It is crazy. That is really it seems like one of those pieces that like, oh, they're gonna win.
Yeah.
Well,
it doesn't. And I would encourage anyone that wants to do a Firebird free skate to rediscover the Sansoul Orchestra Magic Vertifier version. It's so good. Don't be afraid to wear bell bottoms. I support you.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah. Stop. Don't let fear dictate your destiny.
Just like that delusional hunter Yvonne, who's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go find that
apple prince.
Tree. Yeah, I can defeat this wizard. Whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
I have Russian soul.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you on the next
lore horse.
The next lore horse. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Adam.
Yes.
For your expertise.
And
thank you, Bridget, our resident dog, and Tony behind Adam. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.